Today we have bacon and Tasso rosemary grits. There's that Tasso smoked ham, Cajun style bacon. Got some bell peppers, garlic, water for your stock for your grits, yellow corn grits, the best. Some rosemary, smoked cheese. You can use your favorite smoked cheese. This one is a secret here. They have some green onions, and we're gonna get started. Next up, you can hear it sizzling. You want a nice hot pan. We want to render out that fat in the bacon. So as we have this bacon sizzling here, kind of stir it around. Don't want it to burn. Get it going. It's going to take a couple of minutes. Get it nice and crispy. Render all that fat out of that bacon. Saute, you can use a heat-proof spatula or a wooden spoon would be good. Heat-proof spatula won't melt. You're dealing with some high heat in this pan, so you don't want anything that would melt like a regular plastic spatula or a regular plastic spoon. You see that heat going? I ain't going, all those flavors are coming out. Oh, this should be smell-o-vision. You should smell it. This smells good. So you're gonna see the bacon starting to change colors, getting translucent, meaning almost you can see through. And the fat is starting to render out of there. The bacon is starting to cook. We want it nice and crispy before we add anything else to it. But as the ingredient that we're gonna add here is the Tasso. We're gonna get them caramelized flavors once we put that ham in there. Tasso is a smoked ham. You can find at any local grocery store, but you can actually get it from a good friend of mine from the Sweet Potato Pie Company. You can find him on Facebook. His name is Patrick P. Here in this bacon right here, it's rendering out. You can see all the fat starting to come out of there. It's looking good, looking good. And little bits are starting to stick to the bottom of the pan. That's where your flavor is going to come from. See those flavors? See that part sticking to the bottom of the pan? That's where your flavor. That's where you're going to get your flavor. Here, right here. Almost there. So what I'm going to do, since I know the fire is really hot, I'm going to pull it up away from the fire for a second and stir it. That's just so I won't have as much heat, but I won't turn the fire off. That lets it cool off a little bit, let me keep cooking. Then I can put it back so it can heat back up. See, it's a bit starting to turn nice and brown. We're just about there. The next item we'll be adding there is that Tasso. So here, you can see we have a good bit of fat rendered. The bacon pieces are getting nice, toasty, brown, and crunchy. Now, see that color there? That's what you're looking for. That point right there, you can add the Tasso. You don't want to go all the way brown because it still has to cook and get some of these flavors out of that Tasso. See, that Tasso has that nice red Cajun smoke in it on the outside. It's a smoked ham with the Cajun spice and seasoning. So we're going to let that. See, and you can see them bacon bits, they're about there, they're continuing to cook. And now we're going to add our mirepoix, our vegetables to this. Here, what we're going to do next, saute them down a little bit. We have some red peppers, some just regular red bell peppers. Stir them around for a second. Next you add your garlic. You don't want to add the garlic too soon because when garlic tends to cook too long, it gets a bitter or burnt taste. You don't want that bitter or burnt taste. Just going to saute it, a quick saute, and then we're going to start building our grits from here. Here, next step here is we're going to add our water. Normally I would use stock for cooking, but stock sometimes has a little sodium or a little too much salt, so we don't want to add any more sodium. We can always adjust the seasonings at the end. If it needs a little more salt, we can always adjust it at the end. If it needs a little more flavor, we can always adjust that at the end. You never want to add too much. That start going, we're going to leave that there till it comes to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to add them grits. Now that our stock has reached a boil, now we can do it. Add the grits. Coming to a nice rolling boil. What we have here, you're not going to find everywhere, but you'll be able to find a good store Rouse's, some nice corn grits, yellow corn grits. has much more flavor than the white corn grits or the white harmony grits. Here we're going to add this and slowly stir them in with a whisk, with a wire whip. We don't want any lumps. This is the secret to not having lumps. Just slowly add the grits. And slowly whisk them in. So now that we got them and our fire was on high, we're going to turn this fire down to medium. And be careful, grits when they pop hot, not a good thing. Be careful. Turn it down, even though say medium low. We're going to turn to medium low. Okay, we've added our liquid to the grits. Stir it, keep it stirring. Got Tasso, got the peppers in there. Nice and creamy. I'm gonna let them grits go. Like I said, on a medium flame. And we have rosemary we're going to add here, and also some green onions. Those are going to go on very last. But we have some smoked cheese we're going to have. That's just going to complement that smoked tasso and the flavor of that smoked bacon. This would be good with, say, some nice ribs that just come off the grill. This would go good with a nice piece of grilled chicken breast. There's a number of different things to go with, or you can just enjoy them like this. Saute some shrimp with some rosemary and put them right directly on top. A number of different things that you can do with this, but as you can see, they're starting to thicken up. We're gonna let them go. So the longer they cook, the creamier they're gonna come. They're gonna absorb all the moisture and all the liquid that you put up in here. So we're gonna let them go, and the cheese is gonna add, instead of adding butter or anything like this, the cheese is gonna add the gooiness and the creaminess that you're looking for in these grits. And just like we talked about the jerk chicken sandwich, a depth of flavor. You have a rib would go good with this because you have the smokiness that is already there, but you have the slight sweetness. You have slight tartness from the tasso, but also a little spiciness from the spice there. And we have a little bite that we're going to add when we add those green onions in there. That's also going to help to give it a little bite. See, the grits are becoming creamy, but they're going to come even more creamy once I add that ham up in there. They usually say let the grits go for about 5 minutes. I like to let my grits go probably 10-15 minutes, and 5-minute grits add even to make it creamier. The longer it's in there, the creamier they'll become. The more those kernels swell up, the better texture you'll get and the better mouthfeel you'll get also. But here in the South, we like our grits nice and thick. Run you out the city with some loose grits. But starting to tighten up, our texture is getting there. And we'll check on it in a second. So now the grits are boiling. They're really thick and gooey. What I want to do is I want to add my smoked cheese here. I'm going to add about half of the cheese right here, and slowly stir it in. Get it incorporated in there. And let's taste the grits, see what it needs before we add any more ingredients. Nice smokiness. You can use a little salt. Salt to taste, like I told you. It's going to depend on the type of tasso, what brand of tasso you get, and the type of bacon you get. Some bacons are smokier than others. Put about a tablespoon of salt. And I'm going to add all these green onions. Give it that bite. That tangy bite. And then I'm going to add this rosemary. Now turn it off. You can see the creaminess. See the creaminess can change in the grits. Turn it off. It's going to do some carryover cooking. Carryover cooking is cooking apples on fire that the product itself has gotten a temperature where it's actually continuing to cook even though there's no fire on the burner. So this is what we have here. Now it may look like it's not quite that tight, but this is the deal. As these grits sit, they will tighten up even more. So this is a good consistency here. As they sit, they'll swell and swell. So they're piping hot. You don't want to burn anybody. We'll let them sit for, let's say, 10 minutes. And we're going to come back and see how they look right before we serve. And now as you see, the grits have cooled off. They've become thick. See? Nice and holds its place just like that. So we're going to plate this up. It's got the thickness that we want. Creaminess, consistency, looking good. So now I'm going to take a nice scoop of grits, put it right there on top of some sauteed spinach. Here, we have some nice sauteed shrimp. Top of here. Yeah. And then we'll take rosemary. One sprig of rosemary. We'll garnish it with. There we go. Shrimp and grits. We have our nice creamy Tasso and rosemary grits with our Cajun spice shrimp from Chef Pat's Spice. We have it sitting on a bed of spinach. Eat and enjoy. I already taste the grits. This gonna be good.